And the Pacific Islanders have it on their own 22.
Stay on.
Rauluni, Billy, and that's good defence by Van der Westhausen on his opposite number.
Hands off, Green.
Little chip over the top inside the 22, and what a start, playing with plenty of confidence early on, but then the kick, that time from Sivi Vatu, went straight into Percy Montgomery. Just about in front of Ben Darwin, the former Wallaby front row, joins us in commentary tonight. We'll have another look at it here before we get a match report or pitch report from Ben Darwin. Just couldn't get it over the top of Percy Montgomery. And Ben, what about conditions tonight?
Well, it's actually pretty cold this evening. I don't think either of these teams will be too happy about that. And also quite a number of guys falling over during the warm-up.
Very slippery. And floating with the touchline there, the Pacific Islanders, but managed to stay in the field of play. And the first penalty will go to the Pacific Islanders, 10-metre mark, their territory.
Yeah, just saying there, I think it was Backie's boy to off his feet, wants the game. They love in the first 15 minutes. Scott Young, most referees want to set the platform and set the standards, and that's the first one. Tanavili, he gets a chance to pump it long.
So good field position coming up for the Pacific Islanders, but from what we saw earlier on, it doesn't really matter what part of the ground they're playing in. They will attack from anywhere.
Not a team, the Islanders, not a team to play field position. Treat every metre as if it's an attacking chance.
At time picked up at the back there by Cronje and the number 8 for the Springboks.
Hands off, stay on here.
Conradi, front of Westhausen. Barry, and that's sloppy over there. Cleaned up over on the far side by De Villiers. Throws it back in, and it's been intercepted by the Pacific Islands. But the flag was up over on the far side. Touch judge Brett Bowden saw a foot on the line.
Yes, South Africans looking to go wide. Unfortunately, I think Brayton Paulson may have had a look at defenders coming out of the line. Let the ball go past him. This is the end of the action. There's De Villiers. Mapasua intercepted, but it was already into touch. Previous line-out throw. An overthrow by Latui.
Aleki Latui from the Bay of Plenty in New Zealand also plays for the Chiefs in the Super 12. Eventually grabbed there by AJ Venter. Slippery conditions there. Jaco Venter Westhausen had to check himself and then realign the kick and finds touch on the 10-metre mark, still in South African territory.
Well, some miscommunication. That last line-out throw. No jumpers at the back.
Take a metre. Hold it, just hold it.
Look.
Take a metre right through. Green.
Got Young trying to advantage them by getting the South Africans straight. Latui this time.
Taking his time, eventually he got it there to Loaki, who tapped it down, but they can't control it, and so it's there for South Africa. Good drive up towards the halfway mark by Venter. Now it's there for Conradi. Under 1,000 goes to the air. And cleaned up at the back here. So the Pacific Islanders have it about 5 from halfway.
Hands off! Hands off! Stay on! Advantage!
Moses Rauluni. The referee is playing advantage. Now it's Latui, ridden to the ground by Skalkberger. Rawanga. Crossfield, former Sevens player. But they'll come back. An offside penalty that goes against the Springboks. So Ben Darwin, no real fireworks yet. We haven't seen the need for any big hits from the Pacific Islanders.
No, not as yet. I think they're actually going to try and avoid this the Springbok pack as much as they can tonight. The Boks are looking absolutely massive and probably a little bit fitter as well than the Pacific Islanders team.
Yeah, you talk about fitness of the Boks. They haven't played for 3 weeks, Mardo, so I guess there'll be some concern that they might be a little rusty.
Yeah, based in Sydney. Apparently they've been working very hard, haven't eased off the workload. Of course, they're looking ahead in some ways to the All Blacks Test match next weekend. Taking this one very seriously. We come to this line out again. Latui now, they've lost 3 in a row. Some trouble, both communication and also lifting.
That time sloppy, but they come away with it. Tanavili up to the 22, so good field position here for the Pacific Islands. Here's Latui.
Well, the South Africans coming off their line of defence magnificently.
There was Tibet Barry and also Eddie Brits in there. But it's still with the Pacific Islanders.
Lock there, stay on here.
35 metres out. Conradi coming around there and really, no, it wasn't Conradi. But the defensive player came around and put pressure on Rauluni.
Defensive pressure at the moment by the South Africans. The Springboks magnificent.
Yeah, Eddie Andrews it was that came around and put some pressure at the back there.
No ball yet. No ball. Crouch and hold. Engage. Stand up.
Big boys.
What I said before
This has to be...
Wait.
Just listen to Scott Young here and listen to this first pack, the impact.
Engage.
Two of the biggest packs in world rugby, maybe the biggest two sets ever to face each other.
Stand up. Line up.
Yes, Ben, the combined pack weights over 900 kgs. That's excessive.
Yeah, I think 400 kilos, that's actually Oz Durant.
I don't think Oz is the biggest man out there. You've got number 1 for the Pacific Islands, Soani Tongawiha. He's only 22 years of age, but he weighs in at 135 kgs. To the air they go, and Sivivatu just watching it go into touch there on the halfway. It'll be a good battle tonight. Pulsar and 14 for the Box and 11 for the Pacific Islanders. Sivivatu.
Yeah, both got plenty of speed. Sivivatu's got the weight on Pulsar. As the game opens up, you'll see them feature. At the moment, the Springboks looking for field position. Of course, they're not scared of the Islanders throwing the ball into the line out.
Tui, again an overthrow. But they come away with it. South Africa not able to make the most of that. And now a knock on by the Pacific Islanders.
Scrum here, white ball.
Ben, this is danger period. The Islanders ball into the scrum. The South Africans already look very superior in that first scrum.
Yeah, they've really got to make sure on their own ball they're getting it right. And they're really going to look through Oz Durant to put a bit of heat on them. Eddie Andrews is actually not the biggest tight head around, but as a front row, they've been very effective over the past couple of tests.
Stand up, stand up. Let's take the weight, please. Take the weight, Whites.
7.5 minutes gone. It looks clear already the Islanders are going to survive on scraps of ball.
Down, crouch and hold, engage.
Rauluni put it in. Number 8, Koya Mombele got it back to Rauluni. Needs support. Able to get back to his feet.
Roll off in.
And the ball is there for the Pacific Islands. Lauaki. Just at the back there. AJ Venter, I think, looking to the touch coach saying, what was that? Koya Mombele, the big number 8, taking him out.
You've got to think that may be off the ball. Supposed to, if you're clearing out, and that's not really clearing out, you're supposed to be within a metre of the ball. But AJ Venter, he gives plenty. This time he copped a little bit himself.
Andrews in the front row tonight. Eddie Andrews, 27 years of age, but only his 4th test. He's only been playing for, well, not a long time for in front row standards. I think he took the game up in the late teens.
Stand up. Get the grip up, get the bind up. Crouch and hold.
Nearly 9 minutes gone, 0-0 the score.
Engage.
In Gosford.
Ball's out.
The ball was out and Rauluni couldn't do much with that. In fact, he just managed to get their hands on it before Berger was there to snaffle it. Now he's been pinged for holding on. So Ben, it looks like there's going to be no let off by the Springboks come scrum time.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see that turnover was simply caused by the pressure in the All Black, Springbok front row coming on the Pacific Islanders. And if you've got the ball at the back, but you're coming backwards all the time, you really have no chance of going forward and giving it to your backline.
You notice closer, you'll see that the Springboks are wearing an armband, and that is in respect of the late Thabo van Rooyen from the Free State, the rugby official there who passed away suddenly a couple of nights ago. Our thoughts are with, and obviously the Springboks' thoughts are with the family and friends. Good drive here by South Africa. Pick and drive. Venter.
Hands off! Hands off!
Conradi has to go in searching for it. John Smith will go into scrum half, and the pass goes out to Van der Westhausen, and now Paulsa away from one. A couple. Crossfield goes, broken Paulsa. There's the kick, and it goes into the arms there of Sivi Vatu, but he put a foot into touch. So we'll come back to the 22.
Yeah, there was a late hit there. AJ Fenter. We almost think Sivivatu there. Brayton Pulse has swept across the field 55, 60 metres. A familiar sight to rugby fans. Sivivatu almost into touch as he caught this. It should have been out in the full and returned to sender. Pulse felt the pressure of defenders coming out of line. Very familiar sight, running down the right touchline, kicking with his left foot. That is, Mr. Touch Judge, a ball out on the full. Sivivatu was out when he caught it.
Now, punching it up is Devet Barry, but that drifted forward, and it was right in front of Scott Young.
And Devet Barry, Scott Young had the line there to keep an eye on. May have been just forward. That's what they want to do, play the game right on the advantage line.
Free kick to the Pacific Islands. Koya Mainbele, this big number 8 from Fiji. Steals 10 metres. Now it's back to Tongawiha.
Roll up him!
Still inside Pacific Islands territory. Alabili finding some open spaces, but the bounce is good for Van der Westhausen. He returns and gets a good credit as well, up towards the 22.
Yeah, not much of a kick there by Tanavili, a real nothing. Van der Westhausen has made him pay. Springboks at this stage look like they're cruising in many respects.
Well, let's keep an eye on this throw here from Lutui. They've lost 3 line-out throws and almost lost that one, but Rawonga was there to clean up as he doubled around the back. It's a Rambini. Sarah Rambini has signed for Leicester in the UK from the Otago Highlanders. Now the Springboks will get this put in. Ben Darwin.
Yeah, the difficulty for the Islanders tonight is they're not going to be able to build multiple phases against this this really effective defensive outfit of the Springboks, and I think the only way they're going to have to score tonight is through maybe 1 or 2 phases and maybe some counter attack. That seems their only option.
We've got a delay here.
It's a blood bin.
It's a blood bin coming up for Harry Brits.
Is he going or?
We can pick it up here.
There he is there in jersey 5, Harry Brits. I don't know whether Scott Berger may have clipped him on the way through with the big shoulder.
Just a look, please. Can I just have a look?
And Quinton Davids is on the field, just coming on for Harry Brits now. You see him there with the headgear on, holding his face. Yeah, he needs attention. He'll be back though, I'm sure. Well, we're right of centre field here. Springbok ball in, but they do have the 3 on each side formation, giving themselves the option and giving the Islanders plenty to think about.
Square it up back around here, please. Right shoulder.
Montgomery and Devet Barry on the left-hand side.
Crouch and hold. Engage.
It's Grenier on the 22. Springboks looking for their first points. Inside ball. Venter taken there by Tavita Taumopiao. But good attacking opportunities coming up here for the Springboks. A little flat-footed there, and that was forward though. Tabaki's Boiter on the inside just overran it.
That was caused by Jaco van der Westhausen being far too flat. He was on the back foot. Have a look at this. The pass went behind him from Conradi. That's what caused the forward pass to Boiter.
Crouch and hold. Engage.
Laurent, Smith and Andrews up front for the Springboks, and they're applying plenty of pressure on this Pacific Island scrum.
Up he gets. Guy there, straight in at the side.
Now, the penalty goes against the Springboks, but their
against you.
captain,
I've
John
got
Smith, was screaming at the touch judge on this broadcast side, Stu Dickinson, saying there were hands in there.
Well, Fenta was there. There's no way that could have come back to the Islanders without hands being forced. Have a look at them being used on this side, while the action was on the other side between Berger and Afiaki there in the centre of the screen.
What'd you make of that, Ben?
Well, the level of counter-rucking tonight by the South Africans already in these first couple of minutes has been pretty vicious, and I think they're looking to the Tri-Nations because I think they know that the breakdown's going to be a big issue over these next couple of games.
Yes, they have the All Blacks to contend with in Christchurch next week. The All Blacks off to a winning start in the Tri-Nations in the wind and the rain in Wellington earlier against the Wallabies. Well, that movement just breaking down in midfield, and it's going to be messy ball for the Pacific Islands, and there was a hand in there. Yeah, they were all set to lose it anyway.
Yeah, it's the Springbok defence that's causing them. Have a look at the last couple of men up there. I think Schalk Burger was there, Jaco van der Westhuizen, forcing Tanavili 12 metres behind where the line-out was played. Burger's in there, van der Westhuizen. There's the pressure. They had to use their hands because the Springboks had the drive on. The Islanders forced back. Now given the penalty away. Yeah, obvious by there. Dovi Verata used his hand. His responsibility as open side flanker to secure and scrounge to the ball, but not when you're sitting on the ground and using your hand. Responsibility as open side flanker to secure and scrounge to the ball, but not when you're sitting on the ground and using your hand.
Yeah, I think with the breakdown tonight, the Pacific Islanders have to be making sure every time one of their guys goes into attack, they target the next couple of Springboks and take them out. Otherwise, they're going to have such a long night. You can see as he's brought down to the ground there, that really their Schockberger there's all over them straight away.
Well, Rambini and Villi, that's fly half and inside centre for the Pacific Islanders team. Combination very poor so far, and it leads to that problem. He's been scraped along the head there, Tanavili, as we wait for Percy Montgomery to have the first shot at goal of the night.
Well, earlier on, there was no way you'd be kicking into a breeze coming off the water here at this stadium, but the weather has settled down. Earlier, the posts were waving from side to side. Montgomery, 48 metres out from right in front. Not a bad strike as he got the distance. Yes, he has. That's a fine start for Percy and the goal-kicking department tonight. So it is first points on the board for the Springboks, and it's South Africa 3, the Pacific Islands 0.
Yeah, Pacific Islanders so far haven't had any meaningful ball to use. They haven't got into the game whatsoever. 16 gone, and they just have not put any pressure. They've been turning over first phase ball. No flow to their match.
The take from the restart. On the out. Conradi goes in looking for it. Van der Westhuizen.
That's not
nudge. Not out. And Koya Mindbele inside the 22, having some trouble with the footing. Didn't really have an opportunity to wind up there, did he, the big man?
Hands off!
There's a kick from Raul Looney. It's out in the full. He won't be happy with that.
Some real basic errors. They started so well last week against the All Blacks, the Islanders. Moses Raulini on that occasion. Poor kick. They've taken some bad options tonight. Made some mistakes, and this stage the Boks far superior.
I think if there is going to be a weakness tonight in this game for the Boks, it'll be out wide defensively, and I think the Pacific Islanders have got to throw it.
Yeah, well, they're opting to kick quite regularly so far. The Pacific Islanders went in 4 tries against the All Blacks, a couple against the Wallabies. Ball in hand might be an option for them, just to test that outside Springbok defence. We've got one of the players down here, and it's the captain, Noki Afiaki. Turned 31 this week. Plays for Seacom in Japan. Because he had 4 seasons with the Hurricanes in the Super 12. Had his debut in international rugby for Tonga at the '95 Rugby World Cup in South Africa. 3-0, the Springboks over Pira. The Pacific Island Rugby Alliance representing Tonga, Fiji and Samoa. Here's Afiaki here, just caught by something there. He's been in looks like the shoulder he's grasping. He's had an Achilles problem leading up to this match.
Fairly innocuous, but he's back on his feet and ready to go. Their throw in, Latui. So it does need his captain.
And again, it's messy. And towed through now by the Springboks. Sivivatu, plenty of work to do back there. He's been monstered by Marquis Boiter and John Smith in there as well. Petty Ritz as well. They wanted a quick throw in, but they've been called back.
Yeah, there were two of them. That was set.
Real problems at the moment with the Pacific Islanders line out, and they've really lost confidence in themselves as well. And when that happens, you start looking at each other and wondering who's going to take charge.
Two of them, they're clearly there. Sorry.
Yeah, John Smith tried to get the quick line out. Scott Young, referee, telling him the line out was already set. Now they've got a recall. You've got to think this will be a power play, and it is.
And now the drive by the Springboks. 5 metres out. Still going. Real pressure here for the Pacific Islanders. Conradi goes in looking for it now. Advantage being played. Van der Westhausen. And that was Joubert. No advantage though. Pulling them all down.
There was always that suspicion. And I'll tell you another suspicion. It may be that they'll take the scrum.
Jake White, the new coach of the Springboks in 2004.
Well, when you've got a pack as big as the Springboks coming at you on a line out, your only option is to take it down because it's better than getting driven back over the line.
Brighton hold, engage.
Conradi with the put in. Trapped in the back by Konya.
Down again, please.
Referee wants a reset.
Ben, that looked fairly convincing, the first scrum there. They're keeping their composure, the Springboks.
Yeah, absolutely. It's nice. Eddie Andrews getting a good hit here on the right-hand side. And the Pacific Islander scrum, you can see actually splitting in half as the pressure comes on. The Broks want to keep the scrum up, though.
Stay bound.
Here they go again. Still trapped at the back. Konya.
One more.
He wants another one.
Oz Duran will be absolutely enjoying himself right now. The Boks have got a nice amount of control, but it's so difficult as the opposition pack, unfortunately, goes one way or the other to keep your stability and keep your front row straight.
Engage. Get the bind up.
Free kick.
Bind up.
He's lost his patience, and now Konya goes away with it after the quick tap. Conradi, Van der Westhausen, Marius Joubert, and Brayton Polster tried to get the grubber kick in, but he was monstered by Mapasua. The whistle is gone, though.
Yeah, they went back their 10 from the quick tap, the Pacific Islanders. There's a little bit of controversy out wide between Percy Montgomery and I think it's Norman Lingieri.
Got 10 metres, get behind 10. Scrum.
Yeah, they want another scrum, not surprisingly.
Well, it saps a lot of energy out of the opposition as well. It enables them to play the kind of plays they want to play later on in the Tri Nation. So in a lot of ways, this is practice for them.
Trapped again at the back by Cronje.
Scrum's over.
Picked up now by the big number 8. Saw the white line and charges over. Well, that was sloppy defence by the Pacific Islanders, but they're under all sorts of pressure at scrum time. And Jacques Cognier, the 21-year-old, spotted the white line and just crashed over for the first try for South Africa.
Yeah, the fifth scrum in a row on the 5-metre mark for the South Africans. Bowler Conradi doing a lot of pointing. In the end, Cronje's run the long way around the scrum, but it's been the right move. Sivivati had nothing. Ben just too convincing.
Yeah, they were, and unfortunately for the Islanders, there's so much watching for this pushover that's coming at them, that defensively they're at 6 and 7s. Interesting to see they did go the long way around. The Islanders certainly didn't see that coming, and it was just a one-on-one situation. And when you've got Springboks this kind of size, they really don't have any defence to it.
Yeah, they stretched the Islanders so hard in the scrum, they had nothing in defence.
Montgomery, second shot at goal tonight, and he raises the flags again. The radar is working for Percy, and it's 10-0. South Africa over the Pacific Islands, 1-0 converted, and there was an earlier penalty as well. Another look at it here, simple stuff. They just didn't come off the line, and he was able to crash over Jacques Cronje. Gee, he's been a real product of the development system in South Africa, hasn't he? He's come up through the South African under-19s and under-21s, made his debut against Ireland this year.
He is a prospect, as is this man. Berger under the kickoff.
Kick from the Springboks. And Norman Lingeri returns the compliment, gives it plenty of air. The Fijian fullback. Underneath it is Winter. He couldn't control it. Montgomery. Almost back on the 22 in South African territory. Jaco van der Westhausen.
That is a beauty. Not out, but plenty of pressure on Rambini here.
How's that, Stewie?
And will he find touch? No, he won't. AJ Venter.
Look out.
Ran into Leki Lutui.
Right, hands off.
Under 1,000. I don't think the outside men were really wanting that kick or aware of it. And Mbombo couldn't do much over there in the end. Into touch.
Well, the one thing the Pacific Islanders need tonight in order to counter-attack and play the kind of rugby they like to is time and space, and they have absolutely none of that at the moment. Every time the box kick back downfield and the ball stays in play, they've got about 4 or 5 guys right down on top of them.
It's been convincing defence, even that one where Van der Westhausen put it behind the defence. De Villiers wasn't ready, but he did adapt and got up very quickly. They're going to kick, they've got to make the chase good.
Wondering why that's a scrum and not a line out. There's a judge that Mbombo had lost the ball before it went across the touchline.
In the end, I think they said De Villiers
knocked it out of his hand.
Knocked it out, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the put in by the Pacific Islands.
Play on.
Oh, Skalkberger, great effort.
5, straight in at ground. Number 5, straight in.
That's against Farimi Rawonga. Not staying on his feet.
Interesting with the scrum at the moment. There's so much pressure coming from the Springboks. The referee's actually letting him put the ball in, as I would probably say, not quite straight and almost into the second row of the Pacific Islanders. But you know, if we want to give them some opportunities to attack, it'd be great to see them run the ball from out here.
On the way Percy Montgomery is striking the ball, they've decided to have another crack at the posts. It's 10-0 at the moment to South Africa.
Hold it still, White.
Percy Montgomery, one of the real favourites of Australian rugby fans over the years. Great to see him back, and he's on the hunt for Nas Botha's Springbok point scoring record.
Flags are up again, 3 from 3, 13 points to 0. South Africa over the Pacific Islands. And Percy Montgomery edging closer to Nas Botha's all-time South African points record in test matches. Started the night 18 points behind. So he's got another 10 to go.
There it is there. Skalkberger does the great work snaffling that on the ground. And then Rawonga dives straight on it. That's where the penalty came.
That's not.
The body language of the Islanders is a little bit down at the moment. They're looking at each other, a little bit tired. The box, it's heads up. It's almost like they're having a bit of a training run. We'd just love to see the Pacific Islanders get a little bit of ball in the Springboks half.
Yeah, well, it's so unlike their start against the Wallabies and, in particular, the All Blacks. To be a little hesitant at times. We've seen more kicking from them.
Rambini's off. Saramea Bai comes on, and he's the one nominated to restart.
It's a blood bin for Rambini. Brits couldn't hold on for the Springboks. So Pacific Islanders have it. Had very limited time inside attacking positions. And now Mapasua gets him on the front foot, gets the pass away. Norman Lingeri taken over there by De Villiers, and Montgomery helping out as well. Afiaki, the captain. That ball went to ground. No knock on though. Alavilli, Sarah by, and they've turned it over, and now Bucky's Boito got it away to Fenta. Looked a little forward, but they got away with it, the Springboks, and they continue to drive it forward, but now they knock it on.
Oh, it was a very optimistic pass thrown there by Fenta. Virtually just rolled it back across the shoulders. This was Boita. Showed good poise. No, that ball went back, but then Fenta kept bruising. Got up again and still beat men. Good support, good drive behind him. He was just trying to drop it back to his support player. Didn't work out. I wonder whether this ball actually went forward. Let it go there. Went backwards initially.
Well, that really came from two massive tackles back down the other end of the field by the Springboks. They seem to be taking a lot of pride in their defence at the moment, and those kind of tackles cause turnovers. The pressure comes onto the back line, and they fortunately gave the ball back to the Springboks. And fantastic foot speed there by Venter.
Can't agree more. The Springbok defence so far has been moving off the line very, very quickly, right in the face of the Islanders, and not giving them any opportunities.
13-0. Springboks over the Pacific Islands, and now towed through by Conradi as he got the pace to win the race to the ball. It's been grounded in goal. Carried over is the call. So another scrum.
The Islander forwards aren't moving to the 5 metres with a great deal of relish. They're going to struggle all night, the Islanders, if they can't get those scrums right. I don't know how they're going to fix them while this game's going on. So much pressure on Rauluni and the backs.
Well, statistically, you'd actually say the Islanders won that scrum, but that pressure keeps causing those turnovers, and you can see here, I think they'll maybe look for a pushover.
Trapped at the back again by Cronje, but then he had to pick it up and run, and there was nobody in front of him. Well, did he drop it? We're going to go to the television match official, the video referee. I don't think he could believe that no one was in front of him as he looked up.
Knock it on, okay, for me.
Well, Conradi there had gone to the blind side, so all of the Islander defenders had switched over there. He looked up at number 8 and looked straight, and there's no defenders. We ran straight for the try line.
It was a little bit rusty at the start here. I don't think Cronje knew that Bola Conradi wasn't behind him. Picked the ball up. This will tell us here. Yeah, there's no try there. Knocked forward. Good tackle by Dovi Virata. Suggestion maybe the ball went. Oh, that went forward.
Well, these are the kind of things over the next couple of weeks they're going to have to get right, because the Tri-Nations games might be won on a tackle like that, and I think they need to be maybe finishing things off just a little bit better at the moment.
So a let-off for the Pacific Islanders there.
Number 4, did you say? 4, substitution. Noki, who's captain now, please? Who's captain? Just wait.
Filippo Levy.
Okay. Just wait, please. Wait till he goes.
Inoki Afiaki's off. The captain of their team is off. Filippo Levy on to replace him.
Well, he's been in doubt all week with an Achilles problem. And I think they knew that he probably wouldn't get through the whole game. Probably hoping they'd get a bit more than 28 and a half minutes from him. So Filippo Levy is on there. It means the captaincy is now in the hands of their scrum half, Moses Rauluni.
Nice left-hand side up there by the Springboks, spinning the scrum and turnover.
No ball yet. Wait, just hold it. Stand up.
Yeah, their set pieces are a real problem.
Crouch and hold.
Pacific Islanders losing line-out throws, and
Hold it there.
they're hammered in the scrum at the moment.
Stay bound, 6. Stay bound.
So Cronje, he's already scored one try. Had one disallowed.
Stay bound, 6.
What will he do with it this time? It's still there for the Springboks. They're edging forward.
Stand up.
And they'll get the put in yet again. They've done their homework, haven't they, the Springboks? They're not allowing any width at all for the Pacific Islanders.
Crouch and hold.
Completely choking them in defence and also on attack when they have opportunities like this.
So Grenier, he's already scored one try, had one disallowed. What will he do with it this time? It's still there for the Springboks. They're edging forward.
Stand up.
And they'll get the put in yet again. They've done their homework, haven't they, the Springboks? They're not allowing any width at all for the Pacific Islanders.
Crouch and hold.
Completely choking them in defence and also on attack when they have opportunities like this. Scott Young talk.
You right? No.
Liddy Andrews there got a massive hit on and basically went straight down to the ground. Seems to be in a little bit of discomfort.
He's played all 4 tests this year.
It's not your classic tight head, actually. He's quite small. We can see on the hit here. Gets a nice contact, but everyone goes down the ground. The loose head isn't able to hold him up and seems a bit of problems with his shoulders.
Use the mark here. No ball. Crouch and hold.
So another opportunity for South Africa.
Percy Montgomery on this side of the scrum for the box.
Ball's out.
Well, that time they made a mess of it. Koya Mindbelay had it stolen, but they were playing advantage because of that initial knock-on by South Africa.
It's lost ball. The ball was out. The ball came out.
I think that ball was accidentally kicked through there by the Springboks and really frustrating in this kind of position. I think I'm the only one in the stadium enjoying all these scrums.
Crouch and hold. Engage.
Rauluni with the put-in for the Pacific Islanders. And that's... I don't know what's happening down there, Ben. I'm glad you know.
Offside.
Scott Young caught the ball so he could stop the game. Conradi, quick tap.
And back on the inside, Jaco van der Westhausen was at a high shot. The referee said, yeah, they're playing advantage for South Africa. Leader out now, the Springboks. Stockberger goes in to scrum half.
No advantage, hold it. Offside, not 10. The mark's back here.
Take your choice. High tackle. There's the high tackle on Van der Westhuizen there. No, impact was low. It just crept up around the collar after that. I think the touch judge picked it up, so there was one there. But, gee, there's some hands on the ground by the Islanders.
But he got them for 10 metres, 10 metres. Not inside or inside the 10.
And I think Percy...
We're not sure what number it was made against this on the number 10 guy here. So it's just a penalty. Let's just keep it calm and keep him down, okay?
So a warning there for the high tackle.
Give me a benefit, mate.
And Montgomery will have another shot at goal here. So caught not being back 10.
Montgomery certainly has beefed up since the last time we saw him live in Australia. Playing over in the UK, in Wales in particular. He put on a lot of weight, obviously working very hard, prolonging his career.
Last 2 seasons in Wales, made his debut for the Springboks in '97. And that's another nice looking kick. The flags are up again, 4 from 4 for Montgomery. And now the Pacific Islanders really, Ben, have got to be the next to score, you would think, because this is so unlike them. The counter-attacking ability has been there the last 2 weeks, but we haven't seen anything of them in open spaces.
Absolutely. I think it comes down a lot into the Springbok pack. They're just holding onto the ball. They're strangling, as Marto said, the Pacific Island team. And if you haven't got the ball and if you haven't got the opposition under any pressure, then they're not going to kick it back to you and give you an opportunity to counter-attack.
Leki Latui, how would he be feeling with another throw into the line-out?
Nervous, in a word, because they just haven't put their scrums or line-outs. I think there may be an issue with numbers here.
Go to the back, tap down, Rauluni. Vili spotted a gap and went through it. Here's an opportunity now. Rambini back on the inside. Mapasua needs support and finds it.
Billy again.
Yeah, Tana Billy did well. He started it and almost finished it. Now, Mapasua, they're playing advantage here for the Pacific Islands. This is more like it. Can they go on with the job here?
Offside.
Quick tap is what they need. Here goes Moses Rauluni.
He takes them on himself, Rauluni. Stays on his feet. The support arrives. Loaki goes to scrum half. Mbai. Got it out now. Sivi Vatu pulled down a couple of metres out. For the first time, all of a sudden, the Springboks are under pressure. And they concede the penalty, the Pacific Islands. They come up empty-handed. But that's more like it.
In the box, they're very, very hard on the ball. Nice to see the Pacific Islanders attacking, really going at that gap there between the back of the box line out and the inside backs, and maybe a bit of a lack of communication there, but just lovely ball running and quite a few nice offloads as well.
Flag is up over on the far side.
Yeah, Shani Lewaki in jersey 6 for the Islanders. I think Scott Young's going to have a chat to him. No, but he was protesting that very heavily.
White six, just calm up, the ball's gone.
Rambini is back out there at inside centre.
Change of jersey, no number.
A couple of clean breaks by the Pacific Islanders. They haven't been able to go on with it. Now the South Africans just charge it upfield.
Roll off him. Hands off.
And Conradi working the blind this time. Jean de Villiers kicking ahead and chasing. And Norman Lingleri getting back there and slipping over him. Now he's in all sorts of trouble unless the support arrives. And it does, just in the nick of time. But they turn it over, but a penalty.
Ruckus form.
Great chase there again by the box. And these conditions not exactly the best for counter-attacking rugby. And everybody seems to be slipping over.
Yeah, just to explain, an hour before the game, there were a couple of heavy showers. Have a look there. Norman Lingeri, fullback for the Islanders. He wasn't letting go of the ball. I think he was very lucky not to be penalised himself. Sure, the box had their hands, they were at least on their feet.
Not a quick release.
No, the penalty could have gone the other way as well. And Latui. Hooker for the Islanders. Faces the nightmare of throwing in once again.
16-0. The Springboks over the Pacific Islands.
You see they've taken now to forming a massive gap between them and the Springboks and hoping that that helps.
5 minutes remaining in the first half. Good to take that time from Rwanga. And Moses Rauluni throws it back to Lowaki. Up over halfway he goes. And did well to steal another couple of metres after he got to his feet. Advantage being played here for the Pacific Islanders. Rauluni. Billy dummying. Got away from one. Can't get away from the opposite number from the Westhausen. Penalty.
Side, no advantage. Back over here.
You can see there how quickly the Bok defence had really come up off the line there, and might be some more opportunities there inside the 5/8.
Error there, which is why they went back to the penalty. They are going to take the shot at goal.
That's timeout, please.
Timeout being called now.
Well, a pretty interesting choice here with a couple of minutes to go to half-time. You'd expect them to try and run the ball, get that try, and give them some sort of chance here for the second half.
They're quite stunning. You would have thought they'd have a go at the 7 points. Now they've actually got the ball. Their aim, with their problems with set pieces, their aim has to be to keep ball in hand.
It's nice through those few phases, actually, they were getting some quite quick ruck ball, which is exactly what they need. But the difficulty in here is, you know, they're trying to get the pick and go going, but in wet conditions, it's pretty hard and with a slippery ball.
They want some points, the Pacific Islanders. Billy, 28-year-old Mardo from the Borders Club in Scotland, ex-Wellington Hurricanes. A couple of Rugby World Cups, 99 and 2003.
Just looking at that sweatband, the tape on his left wrist with a big M on there. A lot of players write messages to focus themselves during the game on their tape.
It's not going to have the legs or the direction, so it's still 16-0. The Springboks over the Pacific Islanders.
Well, if you're going to take penalties like that when a attempted a try is on offer, you've got to get them. That's very disappointing to the psyche of this Islander team.
Norman Lingeri, 10-metre mark. He goes to the air.
Move out.
Oh, Percy.
Montgomery, and under a lot of pressure there. It never looked like missing it.
Oh, he's having a run.
Jean de Villiers made his debut against France back in 2002. Only lasted about 5 minutes because of a rather cruel injury. Good to see him back.
Stay out, don't move.
Well trapped there by Lingeri. Now it's across to Arambini. And he looks up and took them on.
Manage.
And the support player couldn't pick it up. Koya Mindbelay. Here's Berger. Still advantage being played here for the Springboks.
Advantage is over.
Marius Hubert. Advantage is over. Knock back. Who wants it? Pacific Islanders claim it. Mbini dummying. Oh, monstered there by Schalk Burger. Raul Looney. Went straight into Eddie Andrews.
Turnover.
Conradi. Hubert. Fenta. Conradi back on the inside. Kicking ahead now for Brayton Pulsar. If he gets a good bounce, he's away. Try time, South Africa.
Oh, that is stunning.
That's the sort of stuff you expect from the Pacific Islanders, but the Springboks are saying, if you can do it, we can do it even better.
Yeah, it came from a turnover, the pressure at the breakdown. 60 metres out from their line. South Africans, Conradi started by going the blind. There were simple hands. It was 4-on-3. Have a look at here. There's a battle at the breakdown. Men on their feet. Schalk Burger goes in. I have a feeling that he was the one that pulled it out. It did come out near him. Conradi goes at the first man. Draws him quite simply there. Van der Verstaasen. Venter puts it inside. Then the chip from Conradi. For Pulsar. Bounce is perfect, but also you've got to have the pace. And he does. Try. Well, Ben, it all came from pressure.
Yeah, absolutely. And what a magnificent bit of interplay here between backs and forwards. Nice to see the communication here between Pulsar and Conradi. And I think Pulsar was behind two guys when that ball was kicked. And he's got some jet shoes, so he comes straight through the middle, takes the ball and scores.
He's been a prolific try scorer for the Springboks since he made his debut back in '99. That's his 19th try in Test rugby. 21-0. Soon you would think to become 23-0. Montgomery. Flags are up again. So it's South Africa 23, the Pacific Islanders 0. 39th minute, first half.
It's really heads down at the moment, unfortunately, for the Pacific Island tight forwards. They had such a tough time in the first 20 minutes in the scrum and the line out of this game, and it tires you out so much. And for these guys to then get around and start defending as well as they can, it's pretty difficult.
Well, the Springboks have had 2 weeks to analyse them and their performances against the Wallabies and then the All Blacks. They've done their homework because they've squeezed the living life out of the Islanders at set pieces. And they're so tired around the field that they're struggling to make the tackles and also get to the breakdowns. This time they're on the front foot. Fenta.
Now Conradi with the kick. They want to play it down in Pacific Island territory. And Koya Mindbelay saw Pulsar coming through, took his eyes off the ball. And now Fenta kicking forward.
That's loose.
Halftime siren sounds, and the referee Scott Young says that'll do for the first half. And a comprehensive performance by the Springboks to lead by 23 points to 0 at halftime. They've scored 2 tries. Jacques Cronje and also Brayton Pulsar. The rest of the points coming from, but the Springboks played at the ball and they lost it forward. So the Pacific Islanders will come away with it. Raul Looney went into Schalk Burger. 19 is on there, and that's to Temarua. Whistle is gone.
Scott Young getting involved in the action. better start by the Islanders.
Sisa Koya-Maimbele, the Fijian number 8. We saw him injured just before half-time, suffering from a knee injury. He has been replaced by Tamarua. And now this is what we like to see from the Pacific Islanders. Rambini taking them on. Mapasua. There's Otago Highlanders teammate, Levy.
Oh, Scott Berger on the ball, told to let it go. Where was this stuff in the first half? Tanavili.
Well, Tamarua wasn't expecting that one, and he just put it down cold.
Again, the big opportunities for the Pacific Islanders are coming inside the 5/8. There's a nice few gaps there between the backs and the forwards, but they don't want to let the ball get to ground. If the ball gets to ground, the Berger and Venture will get right on top of it, slow it down, and they really lose their opportunities there.
Well, Tamarua has come on, as you say, to replace Koimambole. The only Cook Islander in the team, Tamarua, played a lot of his rugby in Brisbane Club Rugby Union. Mapasua, injured right hand.
He must have some links with Fiji, Tonga or Samoa somewhere. That's Sailala Mapasua.
The temperature's dropping quite a lot at the moment. I'm starting to get a bit of a shiver, and hopefully it won't affect the referees too much.
They'll be right. Van der Westhausen. As long as that rain stays away, because the Pacific Islanders have started the second half as if they want to try and find a bit of their attacking flair again.
Brayton Pulser just clipped Norman Lingeri there on screen after he kicked the ball. Nothing too sinister in it. He has the clearing kick as Pulser tries to charge it down. You can't... Oh, no, it was actually Maurice Hubert tries to charge it down. He was in the air. Nothing he can do. Conradi goes wide to Bet Barry.
Yeah, he ran onto it well. Now Conradi again. Double round. Conradi doing it to Montgomery. Over the top it goes to Brayton Pulser. That's the 22. Pacific Island territory. Westhausen, flat pass to Skalkberger, up to the 22. Conradi. Van der Westhausen dummying, taking them on. Wrapped up there by Filippo Levy. Double whammy there, off your feet and holding on. So the penalty goes to the Pacific Islands.
Yeah, here it is there. So he's saying the Jaco van der Westhausen didn't let go of it. And then straight off his feet was the supporting player. So the smorgasbord of penalty options there for Scott Young.
Not finding touch, although a foot on the line by Jacques Cronje. So a lucky escape there for the Pacific Islanders.
Just a little bit of a lack of communication there by the two guys. As the ball came on, no one was quite sure who was going to get the ball, and the foot just on the line.
No doubts about that one. But they do win the line out, but it's sloppy.
Now Raul Looney had Heading Brits all over him. And they've turned it over.
Green moving forward. Right.
Wasn't coming out of there. Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. Just slapped off the top. Very sloppy stuff. Just slapped down. Moses Rauluni, if it went to him, it's no worries, but he's on the back foot under a lot of pressure.
Oh, lock it up, lock it up.
Conradi with the put in. Picked up at the back by Cronje. Tackled by Rauluni. Conradi, Van der Westhausen back on the inside to Bet Barry. Through he goes, kicking ahead. Marius Joubert, the chaser. Sivavatu did well. Got it back on the inside, but the flag is up over there.
Oh, that's incredible. Only just Mapasua supporting Sivavatu. There's a quick line-out attempt. No, called back. The line-out was already set and ready to go.
You tell him.
Great counter-attacking there by the Pacific Islanders, you know, finally getting the opportunity to try and run the ball out of their own quarter. And also nice to see the Springboks trying to get those quick line-outs, you know, constantly keep attacking sides looking for opportunities.
Well, Devet Barry, he was the one that started that, the inside ball from Van der Westhuizen, sliced through. Right option, he didn't have a support player within 10 metres, slid the kick through, but it comes to this now. Off the top.
Good two-handed take by Brits. 5 metres out. This is where they're so dangerous. The Springboks, they led 23-0 at half-time. And now Van der Westhuizen gives it to Pulser, and he just crashes through the gap. Well, more of a sprint through the gap. And there's another try, so he's got a double. 28 points to 0, and that's 20 tries now in Test rugby. 100 points for Brayton Pulser.
Well, you see the smiles on the South African backs' faces. That's because there's a attacking move that's come off. This is prior to this, where Devet Barry slid through, put the kick, but Sivavatu hit back beautifully to slip these couple of tackles. Only just must have put a foot into touch. Yeah, there it is there before giving to Mapasua. But on this occasion, have a look at this. It comes to Van der Westhuizen. There's the dummy runner there, Maurice Hubert, but coming in behind him, no obstruction. Brayton Pulser, good try.
And the flags are up, so that's 6 successful kicks at goal now for Montgomery.
Well, you can see when someone's moving so fast, it's so hard for the Pacific Islanders to put their patented big hits on the box. And the reason they're getting such clean ball is the forwards are getting that long place there at the back of the ruck. And then the half there, Conradi is able to get a nice, beautiful ball to the 5/8, and they're going forward beautifully.
Some good subtle touches there. Maurice Hubert ran the dummy runner to hold defenders, and then Pulser slid across field.
First was by Green. Second by one. No.
30 points to 0. South Africa over the Pacific Islands.
Hold it. Wait. No, stand up, please, White. Stand up. Right. Get real. Crouch and hold. Engage. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
See the tight head there, just trying to get his right shoulder down against the massive size of Oz Durant. It's really the only way you can hold someone like that down.
Ben, what's their option? Get the ball in and out. I know Jake White, coach of the Springboks, will be happy. Get the ball in and out as quick as possible.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. Otherwise, you're going to get it locked down and the pressure will come back on you.
This time they have.
Willie.
Oh.
Sivavatu copping a bit of a shoulder charge there.
Part of the problem, Tanavili at fly half for the Islanders.
This guy's on his feet.
Well, we talked about that earlier, about every time the Pacific Islanders go down to ground, put the ball on the ground, Venter and Berger are right there on top of them. And if they're going to, you know, get some tries in this second half, or at least make some yardage, they've got to keep the ball off the ground and keep making those short inside passes.
Montgomery won't find touch. Lingeri tries to beat one and does so. Norman Lingeri, now he's into touch just before he placed the ball back in field.
Oh, Maurice Hubert at outside centre for the box did magnificently to tag down Lingeri and pile him over the touchline. Have a look at some of this. Good little neat step first there. And Hubert. Brilliant cover defence.
Gap, please. Cross.
Now, they do look dangerous when they counter-attack, but they're having to do it from so far away, unfortunately, the Pacific Islanders at the moment.
Lack of ball is killing them.
Not a lot of support play either.
Let it go. Let it go.
See, this should be a special area of specialty here. Quick tap.
This guy was on his feet. He got isolated. No. Yeah, but the first guy. Hey. Just wait.
Yeah, there's Berger. As he says, he's been isolated, wouldn't let go of it. There was all sorts of penalties in that one.
Well, the Pacific Islanders won't find touch this time. Basics letting them down.
Oh, that's nice from Percy.
Yeah, well played. Using all of his experience. And now the quick throw in out wide. And AJ Ventus saw it coming and went up and did well, and now forcing the turnover. And Brits inside the Pacific Islands 22. Oz Durant taking them on, taken by Rawanga. Pick and drive. Andrews this time. Conradi. Van der Westhuizen. Dummies. Oh, a little kick rather. And it's been picked up, and now in recent weeks, 9 times out of 10 they would have picked that up and ran away with it, but it wasn't happening on that occasion for them.
John de Villiers, I'm not sure what he was attempting there, but that wasn't the play. Not the grubber kick. He was outnumbered there, Jarko van der Westhuizen, by 5-2. They were lucky to get away with that. Jean de Villiers immediately dropped his head. He knew it wasn't where he wanted it to go.
Well, that was a brilliant opportunity, attacking opportunity there for the Springboks. They chipped it back in the Pacific Islanders, and then de Villiers has an amazing pickup, and then that was a piece of rubbish, the kick.
Yeah, well, they were appealing for their put into the scrum. But the referee said, no, you had plenty of advantage. You opted for the kick, and it was a shocker. 30-0. South Africa over the Pacific Islands.
Keep the line up, crouch and hold.
Over 10 minutes gone in the second half. Rauluni. To the short side they go, inside the 22. And right down to the halfway line, and Montgomery got away with that one. Now they throw it into touch.
Hard pass to throw. Had a man going backwards before coming forwards, and Jacques Cronje must have just gone forward. He was lucky to get away with the catch first up.
Well, the Boks such a huge advantage in this game at the moment, and you know they really know they've got this guy's measure. So it's it'd be nice to see maybe cut the simple mistakes out of the game in the second half.
Sloppy ball again from the set pieces, and now the wide one. Over the top it goes. Sivivatu, 2 tries against the All Blacks last week, but well contained tonight.
That's magnificent to make 15 metres in that position.
Rauluni, Rambini, and now Filippo Levy back on the inside. Mapasua, no, Lawaki.
Skolkberger there.
Advantage. No, you've got to be on your feet again. You must be on your feet.
Berger's done an amazing job tonight with Venter at the breakdown. Every time the Pacific Islanders have gone down with the ball, those guys have been there. It'll be interesting to see, you know, whether those guys can perform to this level with tougher opposition in the Tri-Nations.
Well, so far in the Super 12, when they've come up against quality players, they've performed, especially Skolkberger. He impresses the hell out of me. Percy Montgomery having another shot from 48 metres.
Well, significant this one, because get this one, and he overtakes the all-time point scoring record in Springbok rugby. Needed 18s tonight. He has 15 so far. 49 metres out, pretty much in front. Percy Montgomery.
Looks good.
Flags are up, and Montgomery, 18 points for the match so far, overtaking Nas Boita in the point scoring department in Springbok history.
Record moment. Not sure if he knows or not. This would be replayed on South African TV a few times the moment it happened. Kicking magnificently, Percy.
7 from 7 tonight. Percy Montgomery. Advantage being played here for the Pacific Islanders. So it's really now or never for them. Rambini going to ground.
It's you. On your feet, that's a ruck. Back 10, don't take 10. Back 10, please. 10.
Just have a look here at the back. Berger again in there, having his hair pulled. Lawaki here does something. Wasn't clearly discernible. It was to AJ Fento on the right of the screen then. Things are getting a little bit nasty. The Islanders disappointed in their performance. They're fairly bedraggled.
Yeah, well, it's the 3rd international in 2 weeks for them. If you're enjoying the action, the telecast tonight going through ESPN Star in Asia, Sky Sport in New Zealand, Mnet Super Sports South Africa, around Australia on Fox Sports, and now the Pacific Islanders. They are desperate for points here. Can they come up with something just to spark a little bit of magic? Driving forward, a rare opportunity inside South African territory, inside the Springboks 22. It's coming out for the Pacific Islanders. Tanavili can't step his way through. That went straight to ground. It's okay. Play on. And now it's been stolen, and Jacques Cronje comes away with it for South Africa. They've just got too many big guns out there tonight, the Springboks.
Oh, Moses Rauluni was the one who captured that on the ground. Box ball, AJ Fenter right in the middle of the action there.
Fantastic to see the Pacific Islanders there really taking it to the box in the forwards. They fell asleep a bit there down the blind side and made 30 metres quite easily.
Yeah, it ended up with Jacques Cronje. Then Moses Rauluni stole the ball, and then look at the pressure Fenter puts on. Great upper body strength, gets in between Luaki and Moses Rauluni. He ends up with the ball, and thus the resulting scrum to the box.
AJ Venter's last test was 13 months. He's been on the wrong side of the judiciary from time to time.
We have a change for the Springboks while this is happening. Eddie Andrews at tight head comes from the field with a big smile on his face. He's had a good night. When the scrums go like that, Ben, it's nice and easy. You can smile.
Yeah, absolutely. He should be very happy with his performance. The scrum tonight has been very, very dominant, and that really comes from the tight head. I'm showing a bit of bias there, but he's done well.
There's his replacement, CJ Vanderlinde.
Crouch and hold only. Engage.
Scrum about 25 metres out from the Springboks line. Conradi back to front of Stausen. Into touch over on the far side. We'll have a line out on the 10-metre mark.
Quite a number of the Springboks now on the sideline warming up. I think they'll start to finish off some changes here and really give everyone an opportunity coming with the games that are coming up.
Yeah, if this is indeed their number one team, I guess you'd want to cotton wool a few of the players for next weekend.
Good two-handed take from Rawanga on that occasion for the Pacific Islands. Rauluni. Now Vili. Inside it goes. Tamarua. Running onto Dovi Virata. Just a few gaps starting to appear now for the Pacific Islanders. Lawaki, he's been well tackled tonight. Sivivatu, just put the foot on the gas, and Sivivatu goes through to score a try. 2 against the All Blacks last week, and he's got 1 tonight, the first for the Pacific Islanders, and their fans have finally got something to cheer about at Gosford. 33 points to 5.
There was nothing on until Mapasua, I think it was, held a defender at bay with one arm and slipped a small ball. Sivivatu had plenty of work to do, but with his pace he could do it. Tanavili just standing far too deep, but they still made meters. They got over the advantage line there through Dovi Virata. Ball then went left from Rambini. He threw it wide. Mapasua took on the defence. Have a look at him hold Jacques Cronje at bay. Sivivatu too fast. Outdid the initial defence, and there was no one else who could catch him.
Well, we talked about it earlier on. If they were going to score twice tonight, they were going to have to keep that ball off the ground. And some fantastic little inside and outside balls there. And the Springboks they had nothing in the defence. And Sivivatu there, fantastic try.
I've got a feeling it might actually been Luaki who sent the short ball in jersey 6 rather than Mapasua. It was hard to see, but it was a brilliant ball. Luaki, I think it was.
Distance in the angle for Tanavili, and it's going to hold its line, but it hasn't got the legs again. Short.
Well, he's got a pop gun, not a cannon, for a boot. Not making the distance. Here it is here. You'll find out, yes, it is Luaki who holds Jacques Cronje at bay and Sivivatu. Incredible pace, and they're talking about in December, this man being drafted into the All Blacks, the cousin of Joe Rakatoko.
33-5 box over the Pacific Islands.
I think Vandenberg's just come on for AJ Venter, and I think the Springboks will be pretty disappointed with that. I think they want to go through this whole game with no try scored against them.
Yeah, Luaki takes the ball up again. He's been hasn't received enough ball because he's one of their main attacking thrusts. Vili just not getting any length on any of his kicks. Tanavili.
Cronje running it back. Good strong run as well by the number 8. Conradi. And there was not a great pass, and Red Barry really couldn't do much with that. Little knock on in there. Scrum down. Pacific Island ball.
Yeah, that's not good rugby from the box. Coaching staff sitting right next to us. He's not too happy with that.
Yeah, they've just let a few little mistakes creep into the game over the last 10-15 minutes, and the standard they set for themselves in the first half, something they want to keep to.
Keep it up, stay inside this side. No, you're in the arc of the scrum. Penalties over here.
As against Vandenberg.
Here's Rambini.
Kicking ahead for Sivivatu. Chases on. Montgomery sprinting back into the 22.
Oh, how quick Sivivatu.
The crowd starting to roar a bit behind the Pacific Islanders now. The Springboks did well to earn the put into the scrum.
Yeah, he got some hand. Percy was manhandled, but he did have some support in the end. I think Scott Berger was one of the first then to get them going forward. Sivivatu, I think his pace, the speed at which he cut Percy Montgomery's time down, really surprised. Well, it wasn't until, look at that, Scott Berger gets there, that's when it started going forward.
Stay out the arc of that scrum, please, Moses.
Ronier. Conradi. Montgomery.
Oh, that is horrid.
Wide pass. Norman Lingeri. Mapasua. Taken by Osdred. No, Oz fell off him. That's a 22-metre mark now. Rauluni short side. Latui. Latui.
He's on his feet.
And a simple turnover there.
Hands off! Hands off!
But now it's come back to the Pacific Islands, and Tanavilli kicking ahead. Jaco Vinterwesthausen getting back and watches it go over the try line, so he'll place it down. We'll come back to the 22 for the restart.
Oh, and he's going long because there's nobody at home, but Sivivatu turns and chases. Looks like it's going to not go into touch. Sivivatu, plenty of room to attack.
Mapasua. Villi. It's a replacement front rower, Felici. And now the advantage is with the Springboks. So the Pacific Islanders trying the counter-attack, but not coming off. And now Berger over the 22. Conradi. Switch. Thought about a dart down the blind side. And realised that he was going to be on his own down there. Pick and drive now coming up from Vandenberg. Back to Conradi, doubling up. Support play. And all of a sudden the Springboks lose it.
Oh, they're really loosening up here, the Boks. The Islanders dragging them down a notch.
Well, they've got numbers on the far side. And they've got some pace as well through this man. He got away from one, and they will not rein in Sitivani Sivivatu. A double against the All Blacks, a double against the Springboks. Gee, he's got some toe.
That is incredible. Marius Hubert, I felt he might get there. No chance in the end. But it came. They have loosened up the Springboks. They were the ones that turned the ball over. What's that? 6 metres out. And then, of course, where else would you want to go but your left wing, where you've got Sitivani Sivivatu. Some good work there. Came off a few players, but get it wide. Tanavilli knew where it had to go. Mapasua knew where it had to go. Maurice Hubert was the only one going to feature. Scott Berger had no chance. What about Harry Britz here in number 5? The lock forward for the Boks. He managed to stop Sivivatu running around the post.
Well, this is exactly the kind of try the Pacific Islanders are very good at. Nice little turnover there. Unfortunately, the Boks weren't getting the numbers to the breakdown. Another turnover again. Back and forth it goes, and then the ball goes wide here. And Mapasua ended up giving it to Sivivatu. And he has been everywhere over the last 5 minutes. Defending, tackles, making amazing tries, and comes down the sideline, chased by 3 of the Bok players, and outruns every way. Amazing effort.
2 against the All Blacks, now 2 against the Boks. What an effort.
Well, they've given the ball now to Suru Rambini to try and raise the flags for the first time in this match. Really, the direction's been okay with him, but just hasn't been getting any distance with his goal kicking.
Well, Rambini kicks it with half the power that it looks like are in his legs. He should make the distance. What a try by Sivivatu.
Oh, well, that's away as well. So it's 33 points to 10. South Africa over the Pacific Islanders. At half-time, it was 23-0. Good mixture of Pacific Island fans and Springbok fans in the crowd tonight.
Looks like it may be happy hour here for the Springboks. Ferry Dupree has gone on in jersey 20 at halfback. Jake White, their coach, I just looked across at him, making a lot of messages down to his runners. I'm sure they want to tighten the game and squeeze the life out of him. Luaki.
Greg, it's also important now that the Pacific Islanders do compete right to the 80th minute, because it was always going to be a bit of a shame if the scoreline was going to blow out in their third match after making such a big impression against Australia and New Zealand.
Rambini.
And Bombo.
Oh, bundled out big time. Bombo, but they are having a crack. He went back to Rambini. He thought he was going to put it in touch. No, he decided to run because he had this man with plenty of pace. The kick wasn't the right one. Have a look at that for action.
Geez, they're playing with some confidence, aren't they, the last 10 minutes, shifting the ball at every opportunity. It would have been lovely to see this earlier in the game, but the box pressure and defence was so much they didn't get the opportunities.
Yeah, they've slowed up, not putting the same pressure under them.
And the Springboks now getting a good drive forward. Dupree, Montgomery up from fullback with the kick, and the chase is a good one. It's a beauty.
Whoa.
What about that? What a try.
Sorry, try.
De Villiers chasing the Montgomery kick, and that's a great reply by the Springboks.
Nothing on. Plenty of defence in front of Percy Montgomery. He summed the situation up perfectly. I didn't know this man had that sort of pace. John De Villiers fired through. Good combination, you've got to say. Came to Dupree. Percy's looked up, realised they're outnumbered. Puts the chip up. De Villiers. No pushing and shoving. Just a man with focus only for the ball. Great skill, great pace.
Well, what a superbly weighted kick here, and De Villiers running it onto it absolutely beautifully. The Islanders looking a little bit at each other. Who's going to get the ball? And the De Villiers comes straight between the two of them, grabs the ball. Nice place down, and good for the Box too to get a try towards the end of this game. They've got an enormous amount of confidence at the moment. They've just had a few aberrations mentally.
Montgomery is going to finally miss one from right out wide. Well, John De Villiers. Springbok fans on their feet there, and wasn't he delighted with that try as well. Only his second test match, made the debut in 2002 against France and lasted 5 minutes. So he's had to bide his time to get over injury and to get another opportunity.
And to get your first test try, special moment.
Only 23 years of age, the man from Western Province and the Stormers. And it's 38 points to 10. Still plenty of time left in this match. So crowd getting their money's worth, especially in the second half.
I cannot believe the work rate of Stolkberger. Number 6 for the Box.
Oh, that's a good touch finder as well. But the forwards love that, Ben, when you can look up and see the flag go up inside the opposition territory.
Well, the forwards are always happy when they walk forward to a line out. They're always dark when they have to walk back to one. So, yeah, it's a nice feeling.
Gap, Green, gap.
Well, 13 minutes to go. The Springboks will be wanting to regain control of the game. But Tanavili out wide. This is Sivivatu in the centre this time.
Picked up by Felici. He's very mobile for a front rower. Levy. Raul Looney goes to ground with it.
Hands away. Stay on here.
Levy.
Let it go. Just
up towards the halfway. Plenty of numbers. Apasua of the Springbok outside defence moved up in the line.
They don't have a standard or a regular pattern to play, the Islanders, but at least now they are probing.
Rambini back on the inside. Levy. Big man did well. Short side they go, playing advantage here for the Pacific Islanders.
Offside. So number 6.
Quick tap taken. Rambini pops it up, trying to keep it alive. Tanavilli.
He's trouble.
They need to get it out quickly to the speedster out wide, but the Springbok cover defence is coming across now to shut down Sivivatu.
Ball's up. Play on.
Dovi Varata, the Fijian number 7.
Springboks are very well spread in defence. They need to probe. Oz Durant has that at the bottom of the ruck.
There's 2 in there.
Now the Pacific Islanders will get the put in, so it's livened up now, this match.
Who's coming?
22 coming on for the Pacific Islanders, and that's Brian Lima, the man they call the chiropractor.
Who's off though? Mapasua or Rambini? No, it is Norman Lingeri. There's trouble all over the place. I guess that means Rambini will go to fullback. Brian Lima to inside centre. I don't think it matters sometime what positions they're supposed to play.
Scott Berger receiving some treatment. Let's hope that's not too serious with the Tri-Nations coming up and the big clash with the All Blacks in Christchurch next Saturday.
Just keep on side.
You'd get him off the field if there was any problems.
No ball. Crouch and hold. Engage.
Rauluni with the put into the scrum.
Let's get to grip up, please.
Temperature continue to dropping down here and now. We've got some rain. Not quite as bad though as conditions tonight in Wellington.
Grab it, mark it there. That's it there.
Not as bad as it was here just an hour before kickoff.
Crouch and hold. Hold. Engage. No, back and
Free kick. Pacific Islands, they take it quickly. And Sione Lauaki is only 5 metres out from the line. Advantage being played here. Are they over the line? No, held up.
Hold it. Now just have a look.
Well, a bit of push and shove going on here as well.
Bucky's Boita, the tall Springbok, not one to take a backward step. Moses Rauluni rallying his troops.
That's time out, Matty. You get that? Yeah, just have a look, do you reckon?
Oh, yes, yeah. Have a look now. I've seen him got the ball down.
Yeah.
But in between that play, it may have been dropped on there.
Okay.
Have a look with Matty.
Matt, just have a look that he didn't knock that down onto his knee, then onto the ground for us, will you?
You'll need the head-on shot. This will show it. No way in the world. That's a try to Sione Lauaki. It's come from 14, 15 metres out. TMO will only need one look at that. No, that wasn't the angle.
I think the touch judge might be saying that he might have dropped the ball on the way to the line, but it looks like he's got it certainly down there quite nicely.
Yeah. He's got no doubt. You can often tell by the look on the try scorer's face. So the 2 Chiefs have scored tries.
And it has been awarded, the try awarded to the Pacific Islanders. So it's 38 points to 15 now. 3 second-half tries to the Pacific Islands. Initially, looked like the call was that it was held up at the television match official, giving the OK.
Second half is 15 all at this stage.
Will it come round? Yes, it will. At long last. They've raised the flags. Rambini pretty happy with that. So it's 38 points to 17. A little more respectability in the scoreline. Quite interesting to think that the 2 try scorers in the second half, Sidaveni Sivivatu, who scored 2 for the Pacific Islands, and Sione Lauaki, the other one, both eligible for the All Blacks and wholly fancy to wear the silver fern before the end of this year.
Both Chiefs from this year's Super 12.
From the restart, still there for the Islanders. 25 metres out from their own line. Anavilli, Mapasua, Rambini. Back on the inside to Rwanga.
The sting has definitely gone out of this South African defence.
First hit out for the Springboks in 3 weeks since the win over Wales, so maybe they are running out of a bit of gas. This has been a good workout for the clash next week against New Zealand. For a moment there, it looked like big Seoane Tongawiha was going to pick that one up, but just couldn't control it in the end.
Gosforth first by White.
Inside the last 10 minutes of the match.
17, get up, please.
Geez, they're playing with a lot more confidence, aren't they, in these last 20 minutes? The Springboks aren't getting off the line as much as they used to, and also at the moment, the forwards of the Pacific Islanders are actually quite now happy to run at the Springbok pack, and then they start to make that turn and make a short inside pass, and someone else will run onto it, and it's the kind of footy that's very, very effective for them.
Yeah, you get the feeling a glance at the scoreboard at times in the second half by the Springboks has convinced them that they didn't have to do all the hard work again.
Yeah, I agree. I think they've had a bit of a look up and thought, well, this game's won, and we don't need to try anymore, and the Islanders have taken full opportunity.
It's going to be hard to back this scrum down because we've got Aleki Latui, the hooker for the Pacific Islands, receiving some treatment. A little earlier on, notice that John Smith, the Springbok captain, was being treated for cramp as well. And he's on his feet and ready for action again. The concern here for Latui.
Given the conditions tonight, I think a lot of the hands and passing has been pretty good. It's pretty slippery, it's pretty cold. We've got drizzle coming down at the moment, and great to see some attacking rugby.
So the change here for the Pacific Islands, and Joeli Lutawa is on there in place of Aleki Latui. Latui, the 26-year-old, who's played 8 tests for Tonga and the captain of Tonga in 2004. Now Cronje. Bolsa. Montgomery. Looking very sharp indeed, up to the 22. Joubert gave it away to a big replacement, Vanderlinde.
Stay on.
It's a turnover, and now the Pacific Islanders have it. They've
Ruck there.
come up with 5 clean line breaks to the Springboks, 1 in the second half. Good tackle by Cronje. There was no way through there for Rambini. Now Dovi Verata. There was a high tackle. No malice intended there from Mario Joubert.
Yeah, very reckless.
Again.
Hold it. He's a 10 here.
Another penalty, not back 10.
Back 10.
Can't take the quick one the second time. Moses Raulini just have a look at this. It wasn't, as you say,
that was the initial one from, that was the initial big ball and all tackle there from Cronje.
Yeah, more reckless here than anything else. Almost let go of him knowing that he was going to give away a penalty.
What's the 10?
It's out touch, almost on the halfway.
The Islanders' line-out also has improved quite dramatically in the second half, and gives a lot more confidence to their backline going forward.
First throw here for Joeli Lutawa. Tap down. The bounce is good for Rauluni and Villi. And now, oh, that's good work. Mapasua running onto it. Tamarua, Rambini, and Mbombo. Feed of Mbombo for the corner. Did he get it down in the end?
He forgot to place the ball.
He did everything right. But in the end, did he get it down? Had 5 points written all over it. The speed of Sorelli and Mbombo, the 28-year-old flyer, former Fiji Sevens captain.
He was so worried about the corner post. Did he get...
I think it might be.
Give it to him. Simultaneous as his elbow hit the line. You couldn't tell that from behind. Corner post, cleared easily. Does he get any part of the ball down? But yes, look at that. Yep. Try. Mbombo.
We're talking centimetres.
This year with the Hurricanes in the Super 12, some super finishing there. And again tonight, yes, I think the ball hit some green stuff before his elbow hit the white stuff. Oh. tough.
Rule. No try by the television match official.
Tough stuff.
Too close to call. Well, he clearly didn't try and put it down with the left hand. He wanted to just place it as he fell to the ground.
Well, it was the right, correct arm to have it in, running down the right wing, so his left arm was free to use for fend or whatever. Oh, that's a tragedy, but haven't they got their heads up, the Islanders?
Now Villy.
Oh!
Loaki up over halfway.
That's a super ball by Tarnavili, finally taking the defence on. He's been standoffish all night. Why wouldn't you give it to Loaki? The man on screen now. Loaki suggesting referee Scott Young should use his eyes. Problem. Yes, I suggest the same thing.
Penalty now to the Springboks.
Rocket forwards.
Less than 5 minutes remaining. South Africa 38, Pacific Islands 17. Crowd booing here, wanting more action.
Well,
the Springboks are here.
Clarkie, don't know what the go is here. Why would you take one from 49? There's going to be an interchange here, Loaki and the referee.
Is this to extend the record for Percy or to break it?
Well, he's already broken the record, but why would you go again?
Right in front. Skipped a couple of long-range ones tonight. Doesn't have a big long run up, does he, for a goal kicker? It gets plenty of power.
All about timing. Well, the crowd's giving him plenty of curry.
Good strike again. What's the distance like?
Distance fine. Radar no good. Here we go again.
The Pacific Islanders. But now the turnover and they get it back. And Tanavili. And Bombo. No space for him this time.
Space is the word, Greg Clark. The Boks are giving them some room to move. Filippo Levy over the advantage line. Roluni.
Loaki.
Play on, there's nothing for him. Play on.
And the turnover. The Springboks have been rattled somewhat. Now what do? Did they take the three again? Or a shot at goal at least?
Just end, please. Up the side.
Surely not.
What are you doing, Captain?
Oh, thank goodness. They're going to put it into touch and go from the line out.
Well, even the South Africans behind me were unhappy about Percy taking that shot for goal.
I don't know what that is, a quest for personal glory. I don't think so.
Maybe a breather, just to settle things down a bit. And now they've got field position to apply the pressure again.
Oh, looks like Moses Roluni's going to leave the field as well. A little bit of niggle and spike creeping in. Just off the ball stuff. Moses Roluni's off.
So they've been Stephen Soialo, the 27-year-old, is on there. Samoan Test scrum half, brother of Rodney Soialo. And the Boks. 7 or 8 metres out from the line now. Looking to have the final say, David Barry. And now Montgomery kicking ahead, but straight into the arms of Cirelli and Bombo. Will the Pacific Islanders counter-attack from deep inside their 22? Really can't get the hands free. Monster there in the tackle from David Barry.
Hands off! Hands off! Hands off!
Soialo, only 1 metre out. Loaki, no hands.
Hello. Would have loved to have seen that played on. Here they go now.
Levy.
Oh.
That's a rack! Hands off!
Soialo. Felici. Loaki has it. He has plenty of green Springbok jumpers in front of him.
He's a tough rooster, Luaki.
Danavilli dummying, finding the gap. Danavilli, but then losing it.
From here.
But it was knocked down by one of the Springboks, so the Pacific Islanders will get the put in.
Danavilli in the second half is starting to look like Stephen Larkham and Carlos Spencer combined. The way he's running at the defence, none of that in the first half. This half he's slipping these super balls. That one was just knocked down. Well, Maurice Hubert going on with it afterwards and being invited to see if he wanted to take it further.
Well, they're just going for anything here in the second half, and it's been pretty effective, the Pacific Islanders. And I just think the Springboks have just gone off the ball a little bit. And I'm sure they'll be pretty unhappy. The last try that they almost scored in the corner there, they had a very stern meeting with each other, and a little bit of unhappiness down there, I think.
Get it out. 90.
Oh, good scrum by the Springboks there, so they will now get the put in.
Here it is.
They went through the 90 degrees.
Crouch and hold.
An opportunity here for South Africa
Stay at the arc of that scrum.
to finish with the last scoring movement, and they won't do it like that. Sorelli and Bombo! Percy Montgomery coming across. Will he get anywhere near him? No, he won't. Sorelli and Bombo will have the final say for the Pacific Islands. It's come way too late. But that does put even more respectability in the scoreline. The former Fiji Sevens captain, the man from the Hurricanes in the Super 12, and it's 38 points to 22. And the fans love that. Jay, talk about speed.
Come from Neil de Kock. Bad timing there with Jaco van der Veerst, and the one out the back door from Danavilli, and then Mbombo explodes. Percy Montgomery, no slouch and no chance when Mbombo got into stride, which was quickly and over 90 metres. What a try.
A little bit of pressure here and on the back of the scrum, and Mbombo absolutely flew down the sideline there.
Again, a mistake from the Springboks has brought up the problem, and that is full time.
So this historic three-test journey by the PIRA, the Pacific Islands Rugby Alliance.